All right, American River ahead, just crossing south of Colfax on Interstate 80 and the Transcontinental Railroad. Cape Horn, right up there, one of the most interesting parts of the Transcontinental Railroad, where they built it on the side of cliffs, heading up and over the Sierra Nevada mountains. So one of the last, we're coming up on the North Fork of the American River. There's the North Fork and the Middle Fork of the American Rivers merge down here, just near Auburn, California, near the site of the last great attempt to make a dam and create water storage for California, the ill-fated Auburn Dam. We're going to take a look at that today and take a look at Folsom Reservoir on our continuing, ongoing California Drought series. Right out there is Folsom Reservoir, what's left of it. The town of Auburn's located right over there. We're going to come down this North Fork River, beyond the Forest Hill Bridge and the side of the old Auburn Dam, and see how things look. Now there is this small dam, I think this is called Clementine, right here above Forest Hill, but this dam does not amount to a hill of beans as far as water storage goes for Northern California. So there's the Clementine Dam. Now how's that strut? Is that too much in the picture there? And here comes the Forest Hill Bridge into view. And you can see the old bridge downstream. I'll get the numbers for you offline. So here we are at the confluence of the American River and the Middle Fork of the American River. And you can see the water level is quite low down there. Lots of gold mining remains up there if you know what to look for. There was the famous Coffer Dam failure here on the proposed Auburn Dam. Look at, you can see where they were going to dig the footing right out down there. That's where the dam was going to go and inundate quite a bit of the river upstream. So it's been widely reported in the news about a missing aircraft in Folsom Reservoir. Well, it was misreported that the aircraft that they found, by the way, they found the aircraft while monkeying around some underwater robotic equipment down there by the dam, the deep part of the reservoir, and they discovered this aircraft. And then it was widely misreported that this was one of two aircraft that were lost in a mid-air collision in 1965 in Folsom Reservoir. Well, they released all this information. I don't think they exactly identified the aircraft. They did identify it as it appeared to be a Piper Comanche aircraft, but I don't think they got the N number or anything like that. They just got the underwater images of the aircraft. By the way, this is the Granite Bay area, residence area, which is a lot of very large and expensive houses. So they kind of ran with this story about the mid-air aircraft, and then later found out that no, that was not the aircraft involved in a mid-air in 1965. It was a Piper Comanche that crashed in the 80s, a forced landing, it sounds like, into Folsom Reservoir. Everybody got out just fine. So, a lot of unnecessary stress on the survivors of the family from this 1965 mid-air collision. The search continues for that aircraft as the water levels are real low right now. Well, I don't know if the family's doing an active search for the aircraft, but that aircraft remains missing. There's more than just these two aircraft in Folsom Reservoir. There's several aircraft in Folsom Reservoir. One I know personally. And one of the reasons is there used to be an airfield right over here called Phoenix Field. It was right here in the Orangevale, Fair Oaks area, and was a very vibrant, small general aviation airfield. And oftentimes the practice area, the folks would come out here and do their flight training and practice, and sometimes drop one into the lake. An engine failure out here, the best place to put it would be in the lake. The one aircraft story that I know was my buddy Earl had a lake amphibian aircraft and enjoyed coming down here and landing at Folsom. When the water level is up, this is a suitable base for float plane flying. It's on the charts, but when the water level is down this low, I don't think you can fly float planes on here anymore. In fact, there's a 5 mile an hour speed limit across the entire lake. I mean, just look at it's turning back into just a river again eventually. Very shallow, lots of hazards everywhere. And so one day Earl was landing his lake amphibian here on Folsom Reservoir. For some reason, according to Earl, the nose gear doors failed, opened up on landing. The aircraft immediately filled with water in the nose and flipped upside down with passengers in the aircraft. A very, very hazardous situation. Fortunately, boaters in the area here on the lake witnessed the accident, raced to the scene of the accident, got the people safely out of the aircraft as it was sinking upside down in the lake. What a terrifying situation. And everybody got out just fine. In low-level water years, in years past, Earl went back and looked for his lake amphibian, and eventually he found it. Then his ex-wife started complaining about wanting the salvage rights to that aircraft. So Earl said, "You want that airplane? You go get it," and just left it. And it remains today somewhere down here at the bottom of Folsom Lake. Now, when these aircraft end up in the water like this, they typically swim or sail or move downstream underwater. They'll continue to fly underwater and usually end up in the deeper parts of the lake, which puts them down here by the dam where the original American River Canyon came through. You can begin to see Nimbus Lake, or Lake Natomas ahead, and Nimbus Dam downstream. But right here is Folsom Dam. Now here at Folsom Dam, they've done some wonderful improvements to the spillway at Folsom Dam. And this is a feature that's going on with a lot of these reservoirs here in California, is improvements to the ability to control the water at the reservoir. So here at Folsom, I'll get the numbers for you, the dollars spent. They spent a huge amount of money building a whole second spillway that's at a lower elevation of the original spillway so that they can release water sooner out of Folsom Reservoir when these giant storms come, with improvements in weather forecasting. As these storms come into Northern California, they can plan further ahead, release the water, make more flood control space in Folsom Reservoir for the oncoming storms. Because once again, the primary reason for Folsom Dam is flood control. Secondary is water storage. Tertiary is hydroelectric power, and finally recreation. Now right below Folsom Dam here, we'll go ahead and fly right over it, is the world famous Folsom Prison. Folsom Prison Blues, the Johnny Cash Trail, the concert that put Johnny Cash on the map. A live concert here at Folsom. Look at that, you can see rocks right here near the base of the dam. So there's the new spillway, new and improved spillway section here at Folsom. Double check for traffic. Which allows the release of water sooner out of Folsom Reservoir. We'll take a lap around the exercise yard here at Folsom Prison, sing a little bit of Folsom Prison Blues, and go take another look at the reservoir. Looks like the boys are out getting their exercise this morning. I hear that train a-coming, coming around that bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps moving on. I hear that whistle blowing. That's the original part of the prison there. Look at that, the historic original, and then we've got quite a few additions over here. And that's what tortures me. Good view of the dam back over there. Doing all right on the fuel.
That's our face, that's on 5276 Mike, turning left, course with 1-way-0%.
I bet there's rich folks eating in that fancy dining car. Snorting big fat whiskey in that big fat cigar. I knew I had it coming. I know I can't be free. What? Well, could you imagine being in that place and seeing something like a husky fly by? That'd just tear me up. I'm on the straight and narrow, boys. Take one look at that. I ain't going back to my rough and rowdy ways.
5276 Mike, turning left now with 1-way-0%.
Brown's Ravine up over here. I'll get the name of this secondary dam. This is an earth-filled dam here, but of course Folsom Dam itself is a concrete dam. No way getting down that boat ramp. It's all shut down.
Merced traffic, Centurion 54, Sierra Echo, upwind, runway 30, straight out departure. Merced.
Come on up over here and take a look at Brown's Ravine. Lots and lots of development and growth over the years. When I grew up not too far from here, this was all just rolling golden hills of California. Some 50 years ago. Now it's all built up. El Dorado County. Wow, look at Brown's Ravine. Not a single boat to be had in the water down here. Used to catch a lot of bass and bluegill out of here as a kid. Had a lot of fun with that. You can't even, well, I see a ramp that's open over there. Still have some access to the lake, but again, 5 mile an hour maximum speed limit. And here's where the South Fork of the American River comes in, right over here. You can see one of the old bridges. I think that's the Salmon Fall Bridge right down. Let's go up there and take a look at that. Comes in to crosses the South Fork of the American River and was built, of course, long before the Folsom Dam was built. Look at that. You can see the old bridge of what was, at the time, I believe, the old Salmon Falls Road. Just an old dirt trail. Well, we got the big window opened up today, and it's warm out. Man, we've had a heat wave here. It's 75 degrees here at 2,200 feet. And it has been a hot heat wave this last week. Temperatures exceeding well over 100 degrees down here in the Sacramento Valley, right down there. I'm just cooking the vegetation, drying it out, all throughout the entire state of California, especially up here in Northern California. No big fires yet. It's still early in the fire season. What's going to be the problem later on in this fire season, now that everything's dried out, is the winds. If we get a wind event this year, we're going to see huge fires. Remember, last year was a record-breaking 4 million acres lost to wildfire. We'll come on down and take one more look at this new spillway at Folsom and head on home. Next up in the California series, we've got to shoot up to Shasta Reservoir and take a look at the situation up in Shasta, the other keystone reservoir for the entire state of California water complex. Remember, all this water flows into American River, Feather River, Yuba Rivers, all eventually work their way into the Sacramento River, and that joins up with the San Joaquin River from the south. All that water heads to the Delta and out through the Golden Gate Bridge. But somewhere there in the Delta area, in a location of banks, that water is also collected and sent into the California Aqueduct and sent downstream to Southern California through a series of reservoirs and pumps, taking water from relatively wetter Northern California and feeding it to the much drier and more populated Southern California. So that ought to do it for our tour today of Folsom Reservoir, Mount Diablo in the distance. Stay tuned for more California drought news. Thanks so much for your support of this channel, and to all the patrons on Patreon that help support this channel, make this content possible, and pay for the fuel to go do these aerial visits. Thanks so much for your support. We'll see you here.